Hey, my creative friends. My name is Shannon from shannonstudio.com. And we are here to talk about a creative life, what my creative life looks like, what maybe your creative life looks like, how we can be more creative, just creative things. Anything that comes up creative also comes up in living in Sweden and just, things. And we are on day 319, I believe. So yes, 319 days in a row. We're pretty tough. Hey, Rose. Hey, Trisha. So yesterday I talked about taking some time for yourself. And so I did that because the guys went to camp out. They camped overnight. So reporting on that. Yes, Rose, I did stay up all night. I had a 2-hour nap yesterday afternoon, and that is just like gold for me to be able to just like go all night. So, yeah, I was totally rested. It was light. I think it never gets completely dark. Never now. Because we're in the light season. It doesn't get completely dark out. So at 3, so I did some painting, I did some design, watched Anne with an E, like Anne of Green Gables, Anne from Avonlea, rewatched that, cried on some of that. At 3 a.m. I made my food board, and so I'm like, and it was totally light out like it was morning. So I'm in there and I'm thinking, this is so weird. I'm in here at 3 a.m. making a food board and it is completely light like it's morning. So brought out my food board, had some of that. Yeah, I just had a nice time. Went to bed at 7:30ish, slept for several hours. And the guys didn't get back till this afternoon and they were dirty. And there was a beach where they were camping, so they got to play in the water. And we have some cute pictures of Joseph, and they both got sunburned. So the guys are sunburned and they're exhausted. So they're both, I think they're asleep already, but maybe not. But I think they're asleep already. So that's what we have to report. Okay, so I got my my subscription, my mail subscription. Gonna open it up from Marion, Marion BCN is what she is on Instagram. I think her name is Rachel. So here is, she always has like these like vintage sort of things. And then she always puts in this little note, which, look at that little deer. I like that deer. So she always puts in a little note, and then these little, oh, look at that. Oh, that cat is hilarious. So, so then she puts in stationery, which you know, because you've seen some of it before. So some of the stationery and Newark. Then our little bag of goodies, some tea, and is that funny or what? I just like to show you this because it's just something, fun to do. It might give you ideas for sending something to somebody else, fragile. And this always makes me send something to my niece. One of my nieces. I got a cajillion nieces in all actuality. And I don't have to go shopping for it. What was that? Oh, a little fox. And then she always puts a little washi tape in, which I have to give her props for that because I think about wrapping washi tape on a tag and I like, no thank you. And so then, look at that, little stickers on there too. So that's our subscription for the month. So happy about that. And usually I just sit, after I do this, I just sit And after I open up, just sit and do the envelope for my niece, then write her a little postcard. Because I always add the little, I showed you before, I always add the little postcard. And this month's postcard is a little swimming. And yeah, so that's our subscription. BARIONBCN on Instagram. And let's see. Okay, so tonight I was reading Susan Branch. She's a watercolorist and she's been around forever. She's had several books out that she's done. And actually I went to see her once in Kansas City. She came for a book signing to talk about a book. And I remember going, oh, why don't I just go down and see her? And I don't really remember what she said. It was a nice evening. I do remember it was a nice evening. And, you know, it wasn't like a waste of time. I just don't remember. I just remember seeing her drawings and stuff, and she showed some things and she shared. It was, I think this book was about her, kind of her life. And she has delightful drawings, illustrations. And one of the illustrations she had, and I saw this one on Pinterest today actually, and it said how to draw. So then I read it because it was more of a story, looked like, so I read it. And on there she said that she had been artistic. She got a good grade when she was in high school with her art class, and she got an A, but she just figured everybody got an A. And that she had done sewing and embroidering and cooking, and that was her artistic and creative endeavors. And then she said she painted her first picture at 30 years old. So just think about that. You know, that's a good 10 to 15 years of doing things before she even ventures into it. So, and that's probably what she's most famous for, are her painted illustrations. And the interesting thing is that, you know, you could look at it and think, wow, that was a lot of wasted time. But in all reality, the sewing and the embroidery and cooking, she paints about some of those things. She paints a lot about the cooking and recipes and images of cooking supplies and utensils and kitchens and just all kinds of things. You can see her interest and her knowledge in those things, because that, to me, that's what a superpower is. It's the combination of things. And so she ties in her painting with her sewing and her cooking and her other things that she does. So so she said, and I thought that was interesting, that she didn't even start till she was 30. Then as I was reading through this, there was another thought. It says, feel free to erase profusely. So she's talking about how to draw, and feel free to erase profusely. And I remember specifically being in more than one drawing class and them saying, don't ever erase. Don't use your eraser. You can't use your eraser. And for me, it was so hindering, because if I put the mark down and I didn't like it, I wasn't supposed to erase it. And so then what if I put the wrong mark down? And so it really like just shut me down in a lot of ways. And so I totally loved her idea of feel free to erase profusely, not just erase a little bit, you know, but profusely. If you don't like it, erase it. If it's not coming out right, erase it. I just love that. So, and that just also went to the idea that sometimes you're going to get information from me, from other people, that doesn't fit you. You know, I'm talking about creative life tips and some things, but some of these things are not going to fit you. And you don't have to do them. What I hope you take out of this is take a tip here, a tip there. This works, this doesn't, and then create this creative life that works for you, that fits you, that meets your needs. So I really like that. And it made me think, you know, having this, it made me think that, whoa, just did the hair thing, didn't I? To have confidence and belief in oh, this is what she said. And I'm wondering, like, why did I pick this when I was reading that other stuff? It's coming back to me now because it's right up there. She says, another thing she says is confidence and belief in yourself is everything. Confidence and belief in yourself is everything. And I believe her. And I've came up with a few reasons why this is so important, why she might have said it is everything. Confidence, belief in yourself is everything. I mean, when you put a big statement like that, everything, you got to have some pretty good ideas about why you feel that way. So when she said that and I agreed, I thought, why do I think that? Hey, Joan. So I made a list of a few. First off, confidence and belief in yourself is everything because it will help you do things that other people think you can't do. You're the only one that believes you can do it. You're the only one that has that inkling that I think I can do this. This is a possibility. And you're the only one that's going to help you and get that ball rolling because nobody else believes you can do it. So that's one reason. Another reason is having confidence and belief in yourself is that you will come across, if you're creative, it's most likely you're creative and you do several things. You don't just stay in one. I mean, your direction is creativity, but you've changed lanes in the creativity thing that you do. I mean, you might try embroidery, like she did, embroidery, sewing, cooking. So, I mean, they're all going in the same direction, but they're just different lanes in the same direction. Same highway. And this way, if you have confidence and belief in yourself, you can pivot you can switch the lane, stay on the highway, but you can switch the lane into something else. Because you have confidence in yourself and belief that, yeah, this wasn't my thing, or this isn't my thing anymore, but I believe in the creative highway, so I'm just going to change lanes and try something new. And especially if something's just like you didn't quite get it, you didn't quite feel it. So you have to have confidence that, okay, it doesn't mean I need to just throw everything out. I can just try something new. Confidence and belief in yourself. Oh, also because your circumstances change. Sometimes we have a boatload of kids at home. I know something about that. And so I have to, pick a medium like colored pencils that require hardly any setup. And I did colored pencils for quite a while. And then, then later on, switching, like if you don't have enough space, so circumstances and confidence and believing yourself helps you to switch that up too. Okay, another thing is that, because at some point, you're going to fail. And so you have to have confidence and belief in yourself, because when you are failing, it's really hard. It's really hard to go, yeah, girl, you get right back at doing that. You have to believe that you can do it. And you have to remember and that you have accomplished things before in order to keep doing that. So a quote from Big Magic from Elizabeth Gilbert: artists can feel like failures. And not just, and she's talking about the greater context, feel like failures, but we do fail. In art, we do fail. Okay, artists can feel like failures. Their sense of having failed, it's not a sense of having failed. We did fail. Okay, I'm editing too much in her words. Artists can feel like failures. Their sense of having failed can interfere with their creative self-confidence and maybe even stop them from creating at all. And that is where a big chunk of your confidence helps you, and your belief in yourself helps you to look at the failures and not think it's all or nothing. And then that confidence will help you to not quit when you want to quit. Because a lot of times failure just leads you down that little mental road to quitting. In the book Art and Fear, those who continue to make art are those who have learned how to continue, or more precisely, have learned how not to quit. You have to learn how not to quit. Being confident in yourself, believing that you can do it, is one of those things that's going to help you to not quit. Nobody is in your brain but you. You will hear other voices, you know, you'll have dialogues and stuff like that, but you control your brain. You decide, and that belief in yourself, you can tell yourself good things or bad things. You can be mean to yourself or nice to yourself. Please be nice to yourself. Please have confidence in yourself that you can do these things. Okay, another thing is, oh, you're going to be a beginner. And okay, the confidence is that you've been a beginner before and you've accomplished several things. So take that confidence and remember it. But that you're going to be a beginner at other things, even if you're, you know, that's why I've been talking about my bike riding, because I'm pretty competent in a lot of the art things. But I'm a beginner, and not a true beginner, but I'm a beginner enough at bike riding again after how many years. And so, but because you're going to be a beginner in a lot of mediums, in a different genre maybe, and you're going to try different things. So you're going to be a beginner, and you're going to need to have that belief in yourself in order to go back to the failures. When you fail, you're gonna want to quit, those kinds of things. You have to remember, I'm a beginner, and all beginners fail, and all beginners have rough spots, and you have to believe you can do it. And then the last one I came up with was that because it builds on confidence, it builds on itself. In Transcend, the book Transcend, the more successful you are at making progress towards your goals, the more confident you feel. And the two tend to spiral upward toward a stable sense of mastery. We always talk about spiral downward. I just like that visual of like spiral upward. We can spiral upward. Confidence building on confidence. Remember, you were a beginner before. You're going to try new things. It's going to make you feel like a failure because you failed at something, and you're going to maybe want to quit. And you know, one of the biggest things is a belief in yourself to make you not quit. So those were my things that I came up with when I thought of that, what Susan Branch said, confidence and belief in yourself is everything. So help out and put why you think it's so important to have confidence and belief in ourselves, and how that looks to you, and add to that our conversation about that. So that was my thought today. Have confidence and belief in yourself, because Susan Branch, who has had a long career, believes it's everything. So I don't have anything else for tonight, so I will see you tomorrow. Remember, you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it, and bye for now.